Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamers Breakfast, to our little segment called Snack Break with myself, SkojSkull, and my co-host, Jalbagel.
Hello.
This is for you, yeah. But yeah, welcome to, good morning to this little segment of Snack Break. We'll be reading your comments at the end of the video, and we have a topic I'd like to talk about today called, if open world will come to Monster Hunter at some point, either with Monster Hunter 6.
It's my one desire in the world, not in
the
Monster
world,
Hunter in the Monster Hunter world, fucking goblin stance. Holy, so like
amazing.
before World came out. So before World came out, my friend and I were talking, like, because like World was announced, but like we didn't like have any information. It was just announced. We're like, what do you think it's gonna be? Like, what do you think it's gonna be in Monster Hunter World? Like what do you think it's gonna be designed like? And I said, dude, if it's open world, I'll lose my fucking mind. Right? Like, think about it. You are in, let's just say, like, oh, you're in Moga Village, just pounding around, talking to the chief, and he's like, hey man, I got a request for you. I need you to go and slay Lagiacruz. Like, okay. All right, chief, I can do that. Mm-hmm. But instead of loading the quest and going to the quest gate and load screen into the deserted island,
you just go out
you
the
just
gate.
Walk to the deserted island. Like, how sick would that be, man? So like you get a
That'd
taste.
Be amazing.
you get like the smallest, because we know what's in their mind, right? Because you get the smallest taste of open world with Stories 1 and Stories 2.
Yes.
They're like pseudo open world, right? They have these really large, expansive areas that they're only like load screens or transitions between areas. Exactly. And monsters just kind of like spawn in areas. Mm-hmm. But like for a game like that, where you remove the element of like combat from the overworld and you put it into like a combat sequence, like it makes sense, right? And it works really, really well.
Yeah.
But like oh god, it's such hopium.
Because
it's such hopium.
I got the inspiration from this YouTuber that I'm trying to find the name. I should have done this while you were talking.
Why didn't you come prepared?
I was prepared.
Why don't you? Doesn't sound like it. You don't even know the name of the YouTuber. Oh my gosh.
Peak Ginge. I thought it was Peak Cringe when I read the name first, but Peak Ginge. They're pretty new to the content creations. I guess relatively new. Mm-hmm. But they've been making a lot of Monster Hunter content, and there was a recent video they uploaded like a few weeks ago called Monster Hunter Open World, and should they have it? My answer is yes. But yeah. But definitely check it out. I'll put the video link into the description below, because it's actually a good watch, and he talks about like what could happen and what is like good open world and what is bad open world in terms of that genre, because there's a lot of games that have done open world very wrong.
like what?
Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah.
Dying Light, I think is called. Is it Dying Light?
I don't know that one.
Oh, but it's open world. Basically, you look at your map and it's just like a whole slew of objectives that it just overwhelms you.
It's like a Ubisoft game.
They're all
Ubisoft.
It's
like an Assassin's Creed. Hey, that makes sense. So like, I don't know. Some people like that, but there are some games that do that. Like Grand Theft Auto has the same kind of thing where there's like objectives all over the place. But yeah, it doesn't feel like as cluttered. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, like a lot of people have been praising that about Elden Ring, like the lack of guidance and objectives, and just kind of like here's a map. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and there's points to it and there's points against it, right? Because like it makes Elden Ring a lot more immersive, but it doesn't make it a lot more tedious, right? Like if you want to find the things in the game, like if you want to find all the side quests and find all the NPCs, you have to go out of your way to explore every literal inch.
Oh, really?
So that makes for a longer gameplay experience, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like I can see the difference, right? Because I'm definitely shifting from a paradigm of like, I love spending 600 hours in a video game and spending all of my time in that. And like I'm shifting from that to, bruh, if I can spend $60 for a 30-hour experience, I'm happy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm sated, you know? And like Assassin's Creed games, like Ubisoft games generally hit that tone with me. Like I think I spent about 40 hours in Black Flag before I beat it.
Nice. I wasn't too much into Assassin's Creed myself. Like
neither was I, but Black Flag is Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's fun.
That's fair. Yeah, no, it's just I played the first game. It was the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Go to a location, find the tower, get off the tower. Go to the next location, find the thing, go up the thing, go to the next location. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. The Assassin's Creed games are pretty linear in that aspect.
Yeah.
What makes them unique is like the fact that you do that stuff to unlock more story.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And the stealth elements are really fun in the game. The combat system's really fun in the game.
They're a lot of fun.
But it's bloated, right? Like there's like a lot to do in those games, you know. No, but like an open, but like to like pull this back, an open world Monster Hunter game would be like, I can see like where it could be done, like where the idea seems like it could be really good, but then the execution could be like terrible. You know,
it could.
Because like
that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, because when you think about open world, like world development, it doesn't scream Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter takes place in like rural, you know, unkept, untamed areas that in some places they get like generally cramped, which is, you know, like a style choice, right? Like that's a decision. And in other areas, like the expansiveness of it just becomes boring, you know? Like think Jurassic Frontier in Generations Ultimate, Area 6, the very top of the map is just the biggest, flattest circle ever. That's just what it is. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But when it comes to open world, like you need areas like that, you know, to hit on something like everyone's playing right now, like Elden Ring, the Stormhill. The first area that you're really in with the giants, and then you know it's like it's always windy there, and the windy dogs and all that. Those areas are generally like open, and they do a really good job of like still keeping enemies like in areas that make sense and peppering in things. Like I think if Capcom approached a design similar to Elden Ring, where you had a lot of nooks and crannies, where you had a lot of like a lot of overworld elements and then subworld elements, like it really just needs to be expansive. And that's the point where I think Capcom will fail. Because Capcom doesn't do big well.
They don't really.
They don't.
It would be interesting to see.
It's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, they have elements of open world things in Monster Hunter World, and even the previous games, like when you like cook your own meat and stuff like that out in the field. Like, I mean, they have elements.
Crafting doesn't need to be an open world. I'll say that right now. Crafting does not need to be an open world in like open world games, right? Like I haven't done a damn bit of crafting in Elden Ring. You know, like I mean, I don't know why every open world game feels like it needs, you know, like a gathering and crafting system, because they realistically don't.
No, they really don't. But I mean, it would be also really cool for the monster side of things, how to encounter them. There are sometimes there are invasive monsters they come by, so it'll be really interesting. Like if you run into a monster, you find a monster out in the wild, just kind of walking around, run into them, you fight them, you see another monster, like you know how they usually like it's like 3 monsters in a location for in world usually. You could still have that. Just like in like if there's 3 monsters in the location, there can't be more than that, because I feel like that's when it gets overwhelming, and that's when it's just get chaos.
Well, that's and they need to like monsters that fight in tandem, or when 2 monsters are in the same area and how that AI interacts, it should just not be like World at all.
No.
And it shouldn't even be like Rise at all. Though Rise is a little bit better because immediately after Monsters Turf War or after like a Wyvern ride, one of them leaves, and like that's bless.
Yeah.
But then like in World, you know, one of them shows up, you dung pot it 4 times, and it's like, I like smelling like shit, so I'm gonna hang.
Pickle,
and I'm gonna be annoying. Fucking Uragan last night in my bingo run. Oh my god!
It's like get away.
I killed one. I killed the Lavaziath. I come back. I start fighting Dota Gamma, and another Uragan appeared, and I'm like, "You should get out of here, leave!" And he just wouldn't. It was really annoying.
What the fuck?
But I think like open world aspects like that, they need to like redesign how monsters interact and how AI works. Because I mean, like it's going to change, right? You have an open world aspect, so this idea of areas and hallways are going to disappear, and it should, in my opinion, right? Like areas and hallways should 100% just like disappear. And so you know you have like perimeters and stuff like that monsters fight in. And you know you're gonna have to create special and unique interactions in those areas too to still make it feel like the monster is part of the ecosystem, not just, you know, a PNG dropped onto whatever picture.
Pretty much. I mean, I hope so. Like it'd be, gosh, I would love. I'm like, there's so many things I want to talk about with this because it's just like the concept. The fucking I mean, it'd be really cool to like even have the hallway type feel sometimes where like you go into a location. Sometimes you go into a location, maybe you go underground, you see a cave and you go into that cave, like kind of like basically stories too.
Stuff like that would make sense. But like a Jurassic Frontier style area wouldn't make sense to have hallways all over the place. But then like a cave system or like an ancient forest, it would make sense.
And it'd be really cool because you would see these different monsters in their usual location. So you go into like, let's say an ice cave and you run into Giganox.
Yes.
You go into like a very ominous field filled with like purple and dark gases and Gormagala. I don't know. Just things like that. Oh my goodness. I was really proud yesterday. I think it was the PVC podcast.
Oh.
They posted like there was a clip of Sammy Sliz. He was just fucking just like, if someone talks about Gormagala one more fucking time, and I'm just like, shut up. And I'm like, no.
Shut up about Gormagala, and Skoy's like, no.
No, great podcast.
Absolute goblin energy. But I will say this: open world would bring in like because that's the final evolution of Monster Hunter, in my opinion. Is like, because all these games that we've had, it really does feel like we have this beautiful picturesque landscape, but then we just take this PNG and drop it on top and expect it to work. Like especially a lot of the returning monsters in Iceborne fighting in areas that were designed for base world. Any fucking monster introduced in Iceborne that doesn't fight in the Hoarfrost Reach,
the Ancient Forest,
the Guiding Lands, or any of the arenas is absolutely atrocious. Glavenus in the Ancient Forest is a fucking travesty.
It's a nightmare.
Tigrex in the Rotten Vale, also a fucking nightmare. Let's see, Brachydios in like Elder's Recess is okay. But still kind of a fucking nightmare because it's a really big monster in a generally small area. Because like a lot of the maps in base world were not designed for the sizes of creatures that they made for Master Rank, and so it really just feels like, and it really just feels like they were like, okay, let's just take this thing and drop it in here and hope it works. And like sometimes it did, but most of the time it didn't, and like it either made aggravating situations or people just find it like challenging, and that's that's your prerogative, right? Like if you like that stuff, like that's fine. I didn't, fighting Glavenus in the Ancient Forest is just god awful. There's like one area that's good to fight it in, and then that's it, and it's area 1.
He swings around, he swings around his tail a lot, and then you have to like figure out which direction you're not going to run into a tree. So
like, oh, which wall does he press against? Because he's going to swing left, but he's going to hit a wall on his right, so he's going to shift him. Who knows? It's like that. It's a meme with all the math and the deadpan stare. Just You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But I really like, they can't do that with an open world game, right? And that's generally kind of the idea that they go for when they make these. They make locales, and then they make monsters, and they drop those monsters in the locales, and they don't really give much thought to it after that.
I mean, Stories 2 did a good job, I felt, like, in terms of
Stories
like
2 is a little bit different, you know, because it's not like they're fighting in that locale, right? They're just in that locale.
Oh yeah, they're
you know,
you get sent to an area where it's like and then you go
exactly. So like, if we want a truly like open world Monster Hunter experience, they need to put a lot more thought into how monsters interact with the like ecosystem, and put more life into that. But they're progressively getting there, right? Like they made huge jumps from generations, from Gen U to World to Rise. They've made huge jumps on like creating more expansive environments, making places feel like they're these living, breathing ecosystems, adding more life to the world. You know, just the introduction of like endemic life and being able to collect endemic life like out in the field, even just in World where they're just like there, and then in Rise where they're actual tools that you can use. Like both of those aspects I find amazing. Yeah, and it helps make your world feel less, you know, it makes it feel bigger, right? It makes it feel instead of this was made so you can fight monsters in it, this was a world and you get to fight monsters in it. Oh, absolutely. You know? Like, imagine in the open world where you have other tools, or even like in the world where you can ride monsters, because they introduced that and then in Rise when you can ride your Palamute. Imagine that in the open world, and you're kind of just riding around, or you have Windrake? You fly around with your Windrake. Yeah, you could like use a Windrake. They would still need like a fast traveling system, right? But like, think about it this way: for you could travel, and for you in Generations, you could travel to different villages. You do the same thing here. As you progress, you find other villages. You do stuff for those for those like village chiefs, and then you unlock it as a hub. That you then get to use. You get like a room there, and then now it's a hub, and now you can use the resources and the what's the word I'm looking for? The amenities, you know, like whatever. Like, oh, like you can use the smithy here in Hearth now, and then like, oh, like you now have like friendship with the researchers of, you know, Astera or whatever, right? Like you would turn it into this bigger thing, because I loved that feel in Stories like so much, just being able to travel from like one place to the next. It made it feel like an adventure. It made it feel absolutely grand. It made the world feel huge too. And like, legitimately, if you've never played a Stories game, absolutely play Stories 1 on your cell phone for $15, or you can spend a lot of money. Well, a lot. I think they're still on sale right now, but maybe. But it's by the time this comes out, PC, it will not be. Switch. Yeah, it's all, and Stories 2 is on PC and Switch. Yes, you should absolutely play those games. They're great. It's like a small taste of open world Monster Hunter 2, which is really cool. Stories has become like one of my favorite like Monster Hunter like games. So good, because they do a great job with storytelling as well. Like Stories 2 did great. Like, I loved all the characters that were in it. I was like, oh, like, even when they brought back the characters from the first game, it didn't feel like like you can go into as a new player and you don't have to be like, I don't know these characters. No, they didn't, I should know. Yeah, exactly. They didn't like really force the returning characters and like their lore. They were just like, were just like introducing them, and then like the only reason that you knew that they were returning characters was like Navidu was like, hey, I know you. You know, and that was pretty much it. Pretty much, yeah. But it did a great job, like you said, of reintroducing them. And then if you want to see them again, you could play the previous one. Good marketing strategy. But yeah, dude, it was insane. I mean, that's a different topic, but it was insane. Absolutely. The sales that were happening for Stories 1 when Stories 2 came out. Oh, insane. They deserve it. They did a great job. Absolutely. It's a fantastic game. Play Stories 1 and Stories 2. Yes. Play Monster Hunter. Play Monster Hunter in general. Yeah. But yeah, let me look for some comments. Yeah. I'm gonna hunt down for them. I will say this one thing that I want to end on, because like Monster Hunter can be an open world game. Would love for it to be an open world game. Absolutely. And like it has to have that like real life, real like feeling, real breathing kind of aspect. And the one thing that I would absolutely love is like you don't like pick a quest and go out and hunt that quest anymore. Like if you want, like let's say like you need to go and hunt a Plesioth, you got to go and find that fucking Plesioth. And there might be like conditions, like environmental conditions that make it more like active. Like, oh, there's a thunderstorm. Plesioth are like more active during thunderstorms. Like now you can go out and find it. Or like, oh, you can't find a Plesioth, but you have to fish for one. Or like get to bait it, right? Like go and catch fish and then like instigate one to come to an area. Like that would be so tedious. But think about it like The Witcher. Because The Witcher is like that, right? Like, oh, you have to go and fight like a banshee. You got to figure out what the banshee is weak to, and you need to build up your armaments and like you need to do things to prepare yourself to go and fight that creature. Do that for Monster Hunter, and then for the people that really just want to like beat the shit out of monsters, make Arena Quest still a thing. Right, like towards the end of the game, like add Dundorma or something. Like add like a gigantic city. Maybe not Dundorma. Maybe like what's a good one? What's like a big city place? I always want to say Gildigaram, but that's a stories place.
I'm not sure.
But add just like a really big, like city to the game, and then there's an arena there. And you can just hunt monsters there. Like, oh yeah, like I would like to hunt a Baroth, please. And they just put a Baroth out there. So, all right, go murder it.
Go hunt the Baroth.
And so that way, the people that just want to like unga bunga hunt monsters still can, and they're doing it in a controlled way in an arena. Make a good arena too, by the way. And then, that's my ideal design, right? Like that would be, that'd be so good.
That would be incredible. I would absolutely love all of that. I just want one game. That's fine. Or if they want to go into that field.
Would you want it to be? Well, because it would have to be multiplayer, right? Like to still have the Monster Hunter feel. So we're gonna need like at least 4-player multiplayer. Would you want it to be an MMO though? Like when you're in like villages, like in hubs, you can see other players and interact with them and like invite them to your hunting party.
Ooh. Like in stories
I think
too?
That would be sick. Well, like just like an MMO, right? Because like while you're out in the world, it makes a lot less sense just to see like people running around. So like when you're out in the world, maybe you're instanced.
I mean, maybe like in a Dark Souls sense where you can kind of see their character.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a hue of their character kind of go around as you're going around.
In Monster Hunter lore, that wouldn't make much sense. But maybe
it's a video game.
Yeah, but like that would break, like for me that'd break immersion.
Oh, okay.
Like sure, it's a video game, but like you want to be immersed in this world, and like that really doesn't have much basis in that world. But I think like if you're in, like let's say you're in Valhabar, right? You're hanging out in Valhabar, you're like getting your equipment and stuff like that, and you can see every hunter in that instance. That's
in the location. In
the hub.
The hub, yeah. Oh, that would be great. Like if they're in that hub, the same hub you are in, then that would be great.
You can see them. Then, like, I'm just thinking, like, what's theoretical, right? Because then I think that would be really cool to be like, like open lobby chat, just like like an MMO, just like Final Fantasy, just like WoW, right? And like, oh, like we should like party up together, and you can still make a hunting party of up to 4. Mm-hmm. Right, and then when you go out, you're in an instanced multiplayer. Maybe I just don't, man. Would you have to? I guess you'd have to do that P2P, just like Elden Ring.
Maybe, I don't know.
But still, I mean, it could work, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's something that could absolutely work. Because then once you leave, all of those multiplayer people despawn. Right, they're not in the game anymore, and you're out in the world with just your multiplayer party.
Yeah.
That'd be, hey Capcom, take notes.
Take this idea, okay, and just slam it into your game.
It doesn't have to be MH6, okay? It doesn't have to be. We won't put that pressure on you, but the one after that, it better be.
Monster Hunter Bigger World.
Just Monster Hunter Universe, man. That's it. That's the last game that has to be.
If they bring back like other maps or other hubs from previous games and just like slam it into the game.
It'd be so good.
That'd be insane.
I mean, it would. They could literally just make a canon old world map and then just do that.
Mm-hmm. They really can.
Be great.
It'd be amazing.
It'd be so good. But like once again, we're talking about a lot of. I mean, like I'm gonna say, it's a lot of effort. Like it's a lot of work, and it's something that Capcom has not done before.
Yeah, so
right?
I don't know if they can get that done in like 4 years, because I'm imagining it's like what, 4, even longer than that, probably 6 years.
Probably. Release schedule right now would say that by 2023, so either the end of this year or the beginning of next year, we are going to have an announcement for the next Monster Hunter game, and it's going to come out before the end of 2023. Same kind of release schedule as World.
Yeah,
which was mid to late 2023.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. Oh my God. SnackBreak. We got SnackBreak coming out, and then whatever comes afterwards, I'm hyped for. Excuse me.
Yeah,
you ready for
SnackBreak? I'm just looking forward to playing through SnackBreak. People keep asking me, "Are you gonna speedrun this SnackBreak DLC?" I was like, "No, not gonna do it." No, Nora percent's already really long. I'm not gonna do that to myself.
No, don't do it to yourself. We got a few comments from our last SnackBreak from I Am a Monster. Monster veterans are cringe. That episode, that was fun. I was just
damn straight they are. Talking about Dendorma and Valhabar. Am I cringe?
Am I cringe? Yeah. Oh yeah. One other thing before we get into the comments. Sorry, I want to talk about this. We have big monsters: Safi, KT, Gogmazios. Like, imagine them like as huge events in the open world Monster Hunter.
Like they're like events that like have like a world spawn timer or something like that, and then like you could like go to like the caverns of El Dorado and like Kuv Toroth would spawn in there. Yeah, that'd be fucking sick. Right? That'd be so cool. And then you can do like a big hunt like that. Oh, that'd be sick. Or I mean, maybe not like that, but you could like work towards like a world progress, like an event progress. I don't know. That'd be so cool.
That'd be amazing. I feel
that's MMO design though. That would be like an MMO aspect for sure.
Yeah, I feel like they would have to they would have to balance it in some way because of armor, especially because I feel like that's one of the biggest things that Monster Hunter has a hard time with to continue. Like if they keep on adding more expansion and stuff like that, how to balance armor.
Well, so there's two ways to do that. There's don't scale areas to the player. Scale
the player to
items in the areas to certain levels. So like you can go and encounter a level 1 Velocidrome, like your early rank Velocidrome, but also in that same area is like a master rank Azure Rathalos. I almost spilled my coffee. So like you would have to avoid the apexes of those areas that you're not prepared for, right? And then as you progress, then you're gonna overtune yourself for other content in that area, or you do adaptive design where every like creature, every monster in the game would adaptively adjust to your level or your hunting party's level. But I honestly think the first kind of iteration of that, where like you can just kind of encounter pretty much anything there, and depending on your hunting party's like level, would adjust that.
Yeah,
and like certain areas would be designated like high rank or master rank or like higher problem.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you have to be at this rank to be able to go into this, and if you have a low rank gear and you go into high rank, you're gonna get bodied.
I mean, like, let people just make that mistake, because like you can do that in open world games, right? Like Breath of the Wild, you can just go and fight Ganon.
Yep.
You've got 4 hearts. Good luck, buddy. And then like in Elden Ring, you can just run to the end.
Sure. That's why speedruns are like 30 minutes or even less.
Because they don't do anything. They just go to the end. So like, and even in that like regard, right? Like that's something that they'd have to figure out. But then, I mean, I think you are right though. Like they're gonna have to figure out a different armor system. I mean, like, because I like World's armor system, but I don't like the fact that it's just like
fun.
But I don't like the idea that it's just like one linear, just do all the DPS skills and that's it. Like I think that's really boring.
Yeah.
So that needs to be corrected and fleshed out.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do if they want to dive into the whole open world thing, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited. But yeah, we got a comment if you want to read this one. I have another one.
Read this one. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So this is from the Monster Hunter Veterans Are Cringe SnackBreak. This is from Oni Baloney. Hi, Oni.
I only...
Oh, this is in response to what is your nostalgia game? I figured that out.
Yeah.
And Oni said Zelda: Ocarina of Time used to play and complete annually, and to this day, I'd be more than happy to play through it again. I
never played it.
Cannot play Ocarina of Time. Oh God, I just can't do it.
I want to at some point. I have, like, when I was very little, I tried playing it, but then I got freaked out by the Great Deku Tree, like the big tree that starts talking to you. I'm like, trees don't do that, and then I stopped to play the
Skoj at this young age, zero imagination. It's like, trees can't talk, and then freaks out, runs crying to his mom, and your mom's just like, Skoj, what's wrong? Because your mom calls you Skoj when you were a child. Yeah. And you go, trees don't talk.
But it was like Majora's Mask too. The Majora's Mask was terrifying. The whole, like,
all
scene.
All of the Zelda games are terrifying. Hello?
The scene where he starts, like, shaking his mask, and then just, like, the whole thing is like, what the fuck's happening? And your character's just like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God. But, like, and then the mask collector as well. He's fucking terrifying. He just stands there with a smile. He's like, how you doing? Hey there, little kid. I'm like, don't talk to that stranger danger. Go away.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
But, like, Zelda games have always, like, I've just been, like, terrifying, and I definitely understand the appeal of them.
Oh yeah, I want to play them.
The only Zelda game that I've, like, played and finished was Breath of the Wild, which I was told was not a Zelda game.
Yeah, but those are just, like, people, you know, that's just like people saying that World's not a Monster Hunter game.
Well, no, when you say, like, Breath of the Wild isn't a Zelda game, like, that actually carries some weight. It's an open world designed game. It's literally for the time that it came out, it was like literally Skyrim with the Zelda skin, right?
That's fair.
it's entirely different than the design of every other Zelda game that exists. So, like, there's some sentiment to that. That's not gatekeeping. That's just, like, describing the game, because it's still a beloved game, and, like, you know, people really enjoy Breath of the Wild. It's one of the best games that has ever come out.
Content is still being made for the game. That blows my mind. That is crazy.
Yeah. New speedrun strats are still being found, like, every quarter.
New speedrun strats? Even just going up to Ganon and beating the game.
Yeah, but how you do that fast is what changes, right? Like, because the game is incredibly so you know how World's held together by duct tape and glue?
Yeah. This
game is held together by prayers, and, like, that's it. Like gum. It's so breakable. Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy. All right, we got our next comment from Kyo Zane. Hello, Zane. And by the way, Oni, thank you so much for your comment, by the way. That was really...
Yeah, thank you, Oni.
Yeah, I definitely, for me personally, I really want to play the other Zelda games because I never played through them. Aside from
good.
No, wait.
Play the one with Wolf Link. Twilight Princess.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun one.
I want to play through all of them.
Play every Zelda game. You heard it here first.
At some point when I get to it, I'm still trying to get through Legends of Arceus. I'm almost done. I think I'll be able to finish it. Yeah. Kyo Zane, from also the Monster Hunter Veterans Are Cringe video. Bagel anime range is 2002 to 2010, which means
Correct.
OG Naruto is up to go.
Shit.
That means One Piece. That means Dragon Ball.
I mean, you're not wrong. Because, like, I did watch, I watched all of, like, Naruto and, like, the first, like, season, the first part of Shippuden, and then I stopped because it was just too much, and it was probably like 2010 by that point, and it was over. It's all done.
Yep. So, when are we watching Naruto together?
Dude, you plan it. I'll do it. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy at the same time.
I'll have English dub then, so you can listen to it.
Yeah, I will not do subbed. I can't read.
Oh, that's fine.
So, like,
I can't play Final Fantasy. I can't read.
I don't read the things in Final Fantasy. I skip anything that isn't voice acted.
You just look at the icons, like, that looks like an attack button. Just it's like, oh, that kills me.
I look up the diagram rotations on the balance Discord. I don't even know what the abilities do half the time. I just know the order to press them.
But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I'd be down to watch it with you, honestly. Like, realistically speaking, I'd be
I
okay.
blame you, Kaio. No, I'm kidding. I'll do it. There's a lot that I want to watch. I was actually, I woke up this morning and I sat up and I kind of looked around and I was like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to cancel my Netflix account.
That's fair.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cancel my Netflix account. And so then that means the only thing I'll have to watch is anime on Crunchyroll. Or whatever, or like Mando or something like that on Disney Plus. I do need to watch those.
What do you mean? That you're finally gonna watch Demon Slayer season 2?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I was gonna do that.
I think it's dubbed. I think it's probably, it should be like almost all finished.
It should be dubbed.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'll cry. But I will watch it.
It's really, really good.
One of the things that I do want to do, though, while we're still on the topic of anime, one of the things I want to do is go back, and I'm never going to do this because it's just way too much at this point, and we've talked about this before, about why, it's just way too much. But I wanted to watch all of Pokemon again.
Oh.
But there's like a lot of Pokemon now because the modern Pokemon stuff is actually really good.
I've heard it's really good. I mean, like I feel like they kind of went full circle and went backwards to how they did in Kanto, or like the first, or Indigo. Indigo?
It's just called Pokemon.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about like in terms of
Kanto
storytelling.
And Indigo Plateau, yeah.
Do they kind of go backwards in terms of just like, yeah, Pokemon can die, we have a graveyard? Do they go back to that or no?
Oh no, it's always been like that, right? But the show isn't gritty. Okay, like when I like the show is still like designed for kids, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like
where they're at in the show right now with it's NJ, I think it's New Journeys, something like that, or Next Journeys, I think that's what it is. But it's the continuation of like the Sword and Shield stuff.
Oh,
and it's still focusing on like Ash, Go, and Chloe. And like their like adventures, but they're bringing back a lot of old characters. So like, like recently they had back like Serena from X and Y, and then like they've had Iris from Black and White, and like they're bringing back a lot of the older characters, and they're rehashing some like old stuff, like May and Wallace, because they're doing contest stuff. Like we're in the show. I'm like, that's fucking sick. Like that's really cool.
Really cool.
and they're focusing like less on like filler cutesy stuff, like I would say everything from the very beginning of the show to about Black and White did.
Black and White, like I feel like had a lot of that too, yeah.
Like where every episode like was kind of its own freestanding thing, but now they're moving towards like these characters are working on achieving their goals, and every episode kind of has an impact on what those goals are for each of them. Like Go wants to finish the Pokedex, which is really cool, and Ash still wants to become like the Pokemon League champion, and then Chloe is doing something with contests, right? So like that's all really cool. They all have like their own like little goals, and they're all working towards those things, and so it like the new season looks really, really good. I need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I'd be down to watch that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that about covers everything.
That's what we'll do then. We'll watch an episode of Naruto, and then we'll watch an episode of Pokemon, and we'll just keep doing that until we die. Because we won't finish either.
Because we're so busy as far as it is. My goodness. Yeah, I think that about covers everything for this snack break. That was a lot of fun. It was good. Yeah. Introduce open world to Monster Hunter at some point. Doesn't have to be Monster Hunter 6, but just some point.
Yeah. And hey, tell us what your favorite open world game is.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Tell
us what your favorite open world game is. And share some of those, because I want to play more open world games that aren't Skyrim.
I think I would. Oh yeah, let us know, please. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys very much for listening. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week with our other guest, with a new guest.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Just say bye.
Put it in your mouth.
Don't
bye.
Say it.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.